She was left out at her best friend's wedding until a single dad stepped in and said, "Pretend we're a couple." The champagne glass slipped from Kate's fingers. Not literally, she caught it just in time, but for a moment, watching her ex-boyfriend Jamie spin his new girlfriend across the dance floor at her best friend's wedding, she'd forgotten she was even holding it. The liquid sloshed dangerously close to the rim, threatening to spill onto her bridesmaid dress, the same pale pink dress that made her look washed out under the string lights. Rachel had insisted would be magical. Kate was 29 years old, standing at the edge of a wedding reception filled with 200 people, and she had never felt more invisible. "Kate!" Rachel's voice cut through the music, bright and breathless. Her best friend appeared beside her, wedding dress billowing like a cloud, her face flushed with happiness. "Why aren't you dancing?" "Everyone's dancing." Kate forced a smile, the kind she'd perfected over the last 3 hours. Just taking a breather. "You look beautiful, Rach." "You've said that 5 times already." Rachel squeezed her arm, concern flickering across her features. "Are you okay? I know Jamie being here is—" "I'm fine," Kate interrupted, perhaps too quickly. "Really, this is your day. I'm happy for you." Rachel didn't look convinced, but before she could press further, her new husband called her name from across the room. She gave Kate one last worried glance before being swept away into a sea of well-wishers. Kate took a long sip of champagne, then another. The thing about being maid of honor at your best friend's wedding when you're single and your ex is the best man's groomsman is that everyone notices. Kate had felt the pitying glances all evening, the way conversations would stumble awkwardly when she approached groups of coupled-up friends. Even her own mother had cornered her earlier, asking in that particular tone mothers use when they're trying to be casual. "So, anyone special in your life lately?" The worst part wasn't the pity. It was watching Jamie, who she'd dated for 3 years, who'd promised her forever before deciding forever was too long, laughing with Sophia, who used to be part of their friend group. Sophia, who Kate had confided in after the breakup, crying over wine about how she'd never felt so disposable. Some friend. The music shifted to another romantic ballad, and couples flooded the dance floor like they'd been waiting for this exact song. Kate's chest tightened. She couldn't do this. Not another slow song, not another reminder of everything she didn't have. She set her glass down on the nearest table and slipped through the crowd, keeping her head down. No one would miss her for a few minutes. The venue's garden had been decorated with fairy lights that sparkled like distant stars, and Kate headed straight for it, her heels clicking against the stone pathway. The cool night air hit her face, and she finally let her smile drop. Her cheeks hurt from holding it so long. She found a bench partially hidden by an archway covered in climbing roses and sank onto it, letting out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. This was supposed to be a good day. Rachel was happy. The wedding was beautiful. Kate was supposed to be celebrating, not hiding in a garden, fighting back tears like some character in a tragic romance novel. But the tears came anyway, hot and angry and embarrassing. Kate pressed her palms against her eyes, willing them to stop. "Are you okay?" Kate's head snapped up. A man stood a few feet away, hands in his pockets, looking genuinely concerned. He was tall, maybe mid-30s, with dark hair that looked like he'd run his fingers through it one too many times tonight. His tie was loosened, and there was something warm and unguarded in his expression that made Kate simultaneously want to talk to him and disappear entirely. "I'm fine," she said, automatically, quickly wiping at her face. "Just needed some air." "Right. Air." He nodded slowly, not moving closer but not leaving either. "That's why you're crying alone in a garden at a wedding." Kate let out a laugh that sounded more like a hiccup. "I'm not crying. I have allergies. To weddings, to romance." The words slipped out before she could stop them, and she immediately cringed. "Sorry. That came out more bitter than I intended." "Don't apologize." He moved closer, not invasive, just companionable, and gestured to the bench. "Mind if I sit? My daughter ditched me for the dessert table about 10 minutes ago, and I'm in that awkward phase where I don't know anyone well enough to make conversation, but everyone expects me to mingle." Kate shifted over, and he sat down with a sigh of relief, stretching his long legs out in front of him. "I'm Liam, by the way, friend of the groom's brother, which basically means I'm here because my sister-in-law insisted I needed to get out more." He made air quotes with his fingers. You? Kate, maid of honor. Rachel's my best friend since college. She paused. And I'm here because it would be really terrible not to show up to your best friend's wedding, even when your ex-boyfriend is slow dancing with someone you used to trust. Ah, Liam nodded knowingly. That kind of wedding. The worst kind. They sat in silence for a moment. Inside, the music swelled, and Kate could hear laughter and the clink of glasses. Out here, surrounded by roses and fairy lights, it felt like a different world entirely. Want to hear something that'll make you feel better? Liam asked suddenly. Kate looked at him skeptically. Does anything actually make you feel better at a wedding when you're single and miserable? My daughter, Liam said, just told the bride that her dress looks like a fancy napkin, despite everything. Kate laughed, a real laugh this time. She didn't. Oh, she absolutely did. Right after asking why adults drink fizzy grape juice that makes them act funny. He grinned. Emma's 6, and she has no filter whatsoever. It's equal parts mortifying and hilarious. Where's her mom? Kate asked, then immediately regretted it. Sorry, that's none of my. It's okay. She's not in the picture. Hasn't been for about 4 years now. Liam's voice was matter of fact, but Kate caught the slight tension in his shoulders. Just me and Emma against the world. Well, and my sister-in-law, who thinks the solution to single parenthood is attending more social events. Is it working? I'm sitting in a garden talking to a stranger about my failed relationship, so you tell me. Kate smiled. I'm sitting in the same garden doing the same thing, so I'd say we're both failing spectacularly. Then we're failing together, which feels less pathetic somehow. Another burst of laughter echoed from inside, followed by the DJ announcing something Kate couldn't quite make out. Liam checked his watch and stood up, offering his hand to Kate. Come on, we should probably get back before people send out a search party. Kate hesitated, then took his hand and let him pull her to her feet. His grip was warm and steady, and for a moment, just a brief, fleeting moment, she didn't feel quite so alone. They walked back toward the reception hall, the music growing louder with each step. Through the windows, Kate could see the dance floor packed with swaying couples, Jamie and Sophia among them. Her stomach twisted. Liam must have noticed her expression because he stopped just outside the door. Hey, crazy idea, but hear me out. Kate turned to him. I'm almost afraid to ask. What if, Liam said slowly, a mischievous glint in his eye, we pretend we're together for the rest of the night? Nothing serious, just enough to get people off your back and give your ex something to think about. Kate stared at him. You want to fake date me at my best friend's wedding? When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Maybe, Liam shrugged. But you looked pretty miserable in there, and I'm guessing it's because you feel like everyone's watching you. So let's give them something else to watch. Plus, Emma will be thrilled I'm finally dancing with someone. She's been asking me all night why everyone else has a dance partner except Daddy. Kate opened her mouth to say no because this was crazy, because she didn't know this man, because pretending to be in a relationship at a wedding where she was already emotionally vulnerable seemed like a terrible idea. But then she caught sight of Jamie through the window, his hand on Sophia's waist, both of them laughing at something, and the word that came out was, okay. Liam's face broke into a grin. Really? Don't make me change my mind, Kate said, though she was already second-guessing herself. And there are rules. No actual hand-holding unless people are watching. No weird couple stuff. And if this backfires and makes everything worse, I'm blaming you. Fair enough. Liam offered his arm. Shall we? Kate looped her arm through his, and they stepped back into the reception. The warmth and noise hit them immediately. Laughter, clinking glasses, the DJ's voice announcing the next song. But this time, instead of feeling like an outsider looking in, Kate felt like she had an ally, someone in her corner, even if it was all pretend. They made their way through the crowd, and Kate was acutely aware of the curious glances following them. Liam seemed completely unfazed, guiding them toward the bar with an easy confidence. 2 glasses of champagne, he told the bartender, then leaned closer to Kate. Step 1 of convincing fake dating. Look like you're having the time of your life. I'm not sure I remember how to do that. Start with a smile. A real one, not that painful thing you were doing earlier. Kate tried, and to her surprise, It felt almost natural. Maybe it was the champagne already in her system, or maybe it was the absurdity of the situation. But something about Liam's presence made her feel lighter. "Daddy!" A small whirlwind in a purple dress came barreling toward them. Emma crashed into Liam's legs, her face smeared with what looked like chocolate cake. She looked up at Kate with wide, curious eyes. "Who's this?" Emma asked, with the blunt directness only children possess. "This is Kate," Liam said, ruffling his daughter's hair. "She's my friend. Kate, this is Emma, the cake monster." "I'm not a monster," Emma protested, giggling. "Monsters don't wear pretty dresses." "You're right. My apologies." Liam handed Kate her champagne. "Emma, why don't you tell Kate what you just told me about the wedding cake?" Emma's eyes lit up. "It has 5 layers, and the baker lady said I could have 2 pieces because I helped her carry napkins." She grabbed Kate's free hand. "Do you want to see the cake table? They have tiny cakes too, but they're called cupcakes even though they're not in cups anymore." Kate found herself being pulled toward the dessert table, Liam following behind with an amused expression. Emma chattered non-stop about everything, the flowers that smelled funny, the music that was too loud, how her shoes hurt. But Daddy said she had to wear them. "Your daughter is adorable," Kate said to Liam when Emma ran off to investigate a tower of macarons. "She's a handful," Liam replied, but his voice was full of affection. "But she's the best thing that ever happened to me. Even when she's telling brides their dresses look like napkins." Before Kate could respond, she felt someone's presence behind her. She turned to find Jamie standing there, Sophia at his side. Her heart lurched. "Kate," Jamie said, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "Having fun?" "Actually, yes." Kate was grateful for the champagne glass in her hand, giving her something to do with her nervous energy. "Jamie, Sophia, this is Liam." Liam extended his hand and Jamie shook. Sizing him up in that way men do. "Friend of the bride?" "Friend of Kate's," Liam said smoothly, sliding his arm around Kate's waist. The touch was light, respectful, but the message was clear. We've known each other for a while now. Kate tried not to show her surprise at how naturally the lie came out. She leaned slightly into Liam's side, playing along. "Really?" Sophia's perfectly shaped eyebrows rose. "That's funny. Kate never mentioned you." "I like to keep some things private," Kate said, finding her voice. "Not everything needs to be shared with everyone." The pointed comment landed, and Sophia had the grace to look slightly uncomfortable. Jamie's jaw tightened. "Well, it's good you're moving on," Jamie said, though his tone suggested he didn't think it was good at all. "You look happy." "I am," Kate said, and realized with a start that in this moment it wasn't entirely a lie. "Daddy, dance with me." Emma reappeared, tugging on Liam's jacket. "They're playing the princess song." "Excuse us," Liam said to Jamie and Sophia. He looked at Kate. "Care to join us?" Fair warning, Emma's version of dancing involves a lot of spinning. Kate nodded, grateful for the escape. They moved to the dance floor, Emma immediately starting to twirl in circles. Liam caught Kate's hand, pulling her into an awkward but genuine dance. They weren't graceful. Liam had 2 left feet, and Kate kept stepping on his toes, but Emma's delighted giggles made it impossible not to smile. "You're actually terrible at this," Kate laughed, as Liam nearly spun her into another couple. "I warned you. But look." He nodded toward the edge of the dance floor where Jamie stood watching, his expression unreadable. "Mission accomplished." Kate glanced over, then quickly looked away. "He's staring." "Good. Let him wonder." Liam spun her again, more carefully this time. "You know what I think? I think he's realizing what an idiot he was. Or he thinks I'm desperate enough to bring a fake boyfriend to a wedding." "Does it matter what he thinks?" The question caught Kate off guard. She'd spent so many months caring desperately about what Jamie thought, about why he'd left, about whether she'd been enough. But standing here, dancing badly with a stranger and his 6-year-old daughter, she realized something was shifting inside her. "No," she said slowly. "Maybe it doesn't." The song ended, and Emma immediately begged to go back to the dessert table. As they walked off the dance floor, Rachel intercepted them, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Kate, who's your friend?" She looked between Kate and Liam with barely contained excitement. "Rachel, this is Liam." Liam, this is the bride, Rachel. Congratulations, Liam said warmly. Beautiful wedding. Thank you. Rachel grabbed Kate's arm, pulling her aside while Liam was distracted by Emma. Oh my God, Kate, you brought a date and didn't tell me? And he's gorgeous. Where did you meet him? How long have you been seeing at each other? Does this mean you're over Jamie? Because please say yes. Rach, breathe, Kate interrupted, laughing despite herself. It's new, really new. I didn't want to say anything in case it wasn't serious. It looks serious, the way he looks at you. Rachel squeezed her hand. I'm so happy for you. You deserve this. You deserve someone who sees how amazing you are. Kate felt a pang of guilt at the deception, but Rachel's genuine happiness was hard to resist. Thanks, Rach. Now go enjoy your wedding. Stop worrying about me. I'm the bride. I'm allowed to worry about my maid of honor. Rachel hugged her quickly before being swept away by more well-wishers. Kate rejoined Liam, who was helping Emma balance 3 macarons in her small hands. Your best friend seems nice, he said. She is. Too nice. She's genuinely excited that I'm moving on. Kate made air quotes. I feel bad lying to her. You're not lying. You are moving on. Just maybe not in the way she thinks. Liam paused. Can I ask you something? Why did you agree to this? The fake dating thing? Kate considered the question. Honestly, because for the first time tonight, someone saw that I was struggling and actually did something about it instead of just offering sympathy. And because, she hesitated, because I'm tired of being the person everyone feels sorry for. Even if it's just for one night, I wanted to feel like I was okay. You are okay, Kate. You know that, right? Whether you're with someone or not, you're okay. Before Kate could respond, the DJ's voice boomed across the room. All right, everyone, it's time for the bouquet toss. All single ladies to the dance floor. Kate groaned. I'm not doing that. Come on, Emma said, pulling her hand. You have to. Maybe you'll catch it and then you can marry Daddy. Kate and Liam's eyes met over Emma's head, both trying not to laugh. Emma, Liam said gently, that's not quite how it works. But Emma was persistent, and somehow Kate found herself being pushed onto the dance floor with a crowd of other single women. She stood at the back, having no intention of actually trying to catch anything. Rachel stood at the front, her back to them, bouquet raised high. Ready? The crowd cheered. Rachel counted down from 3 and tossed the bouquet over her shoulder. It sailed through the air in a perfect arc, and Kate watched in horror as it headed straight for her. She put her hands up instinctively, and suddenly the bouquet was in her arms, soft petals against her skin. The room erupted in applause. Kate stood frozen, holding the bouquet like it might explode. Her mother was crying happy tears. Rachel was jumping up and down, clapping. And there, at the edge of the dance floor, was Liam, grinning at her while Emma bounced excitedly at his side. Jamie stood a few feet away from them, his expression complicated. Kate looked down at the bouquet in her hands, white roses and baby's breath, simple and beautiful. Then she looked back at Liam, at this stranger who'd somehow made an unbearable night bearable, and she laughed. Because wasn't life absurd? Wasn't it strange and unpredictable and occasionally wonderfully ridiculous? Speech, someone called out. No, no speech, Kate said quickly, but the crowd was already chanting. She took a breath and raised the bouquet. Okay, fine. I just want to say, sometimes life surprises you. Sometimes the worst nights turn into something unexpected. And sometimes, her eyes found Liam's. Sometimes people show up exactly when you need them to. The crowd awed, and Kate felt her cheeks flush. She stepped off the dance floor, and Liam met her halfway. That was quite a moment, he said. I can't believe I caught it. I wasn't even trying. Maybe that's when the best things happen, when you're not trying so hard. Emma tugged Liam's sleeve. Does this mean Kate is going to be my new mommy? Emma, Liam started, looking embarrassed. But Kate knelt down to Emma's. I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes grown-ups are just friends, and that's okay too. But I would love to be your friend. Deal? Emma considered this seriously, then nodded. Deal, but you have to come to my birthday party. I'm turning 7, and we're having princess cake. I wouldn't miss it. As Kate stood back up, she caught sight of Jamie leaving the reception, Sophia trailing behind him. He didn't look back, and for the first time since the breakup, Kate didn't feel the urge to chase after him, to demand answers, to beg him to see her worth. She was too busy living her life to worry about his. 2 weeks later, Kate was standing in the cereal aisle of her local grocery store, staring at her phone and trying to remember if she'd already bought oatmeal this week. Her cart was half full of random items, things she'd grabbed without thinking, the way people do when grocery shopping feels more like a chore than a task. The wedding felt like a distant dream now. She'd texted Liam once, a simple thank you the day after, and he'd responded with a smiley face and, "Anytime you need a fake boyfriend, I'm your guy." They'd left it at that, both understanding that their one night of pretend had served its purpose. Kate had gone back to her regular life work at the marketing firm, weekly dinners with her parents, yoga classes she kept meaning to attend but never did. Except something felt different now. She'd stopped checking Jamie's social media. She'd stopped replaying their relationship in her head, searching for the moment everything went wrong. She'd stopped waiting for her life to begin when the right person showed up. She was just living, and it felt surprisingly okay. "Kate?" She looked up from her phone, and there he was. Liam, pushing a shopping cart with Emma sitting in the child seat, her legs swinging happily. He looked different in jeans and a simple navy sweater, more relaxed than he'd been at the wedding. "Liam." Kate's face broke into a genuine smile. "Emma." "Hi, it's the bouquet lady," Emma announced proudly, as if Kate were a celebrity. "Daddy, it's Kate." "I can see that, sweetheart." Liam stopped his cart next to hers, and Kate noticed it was filled with considerably more organized items than her own chaotic collection. Fresh vegetables, chicken, pasta, juice boxes. "Fancy meeting you here," Kate said. "Do you live nearby?" "About 10 minutes away. We usually shop on Saturdays, but someone," he looked pointedly at Emma, "insisted we needed supplies for a very important art project that couldn't wait. It's for school." Emma protested. "Miss Henderson said we need to make a family tree and I want to use glitter. And Daddy said we don't have glitter, but I know we have glitter. We just can't find it." "We definitely don't have glitter," Liam said firmly, "which is why we're here, buying more glitter." Kate laughed. "Sounds like a critical mission." "The most critical." Liam paused, and something shifted in his expression. "How have you been? Since the wedding?" "Good, actually. Really good." Kate realized she meant it. The whole fake dating thing, it sounds weird, but it kind of helped. Made me realize I was so focused on what I'd lost that I forgot to look at what I still had. "I'm glad." Liam's smile was warm. "You deserved better than how that night was going before we met." Emma, who had been remarkably patient during this adult conversation, suddenly perked up. "Can Kate come to dinner?" "Please, Daddy. You said you were making spaghetti, and there's always too much spaghetti." "Emma, Kate probably has plans." "Actually, I don't," Kate heard herself say. She looked at the sad collection of items in her cart: frozen dinners, cereal, ice cream. "Unless you think it's weird, we don't really know each other. We pretended to date at a wedding," Liam said, grinning. "I think we're past weird. Besides, Emma's right. I always make too much spaghetti, and it would be nice to have company." "If you're sure." Kate thought about her empty apartment, the frozen dinner she'd planned to eat while watching mindless TV. Then she looked at Emma's hopeful face and Liam's easy smile. "I'm sure." An hour later, Kate found herself in Liam's modest but cozy kitchen, watching as he expertly chopped vegetables, while Emma carefully drew her family tree at the dining table, tongue poking out in concentration. "You can actually cook," Kate observed, impressed. "Like, really cook. Single-parent survival skill number 1, Liam said, tossing garlic into a pan where it sizzled satisfyingly. "Emma won't eat anything that comes from a box, so I had to learn. YouTube tutorials are a lifesaver. My cooking skills top out at scrambled eggs and toast. Then you're in for a treat." He stirred the sauce, and the smell was incredible: tomatoes, basil, garlic, something rich and wonderful that made Kate's mouth water. "So, tell me, how did your best friend react when she found out about us? Or are we still keeping up the charade?" Kate felt her cheeks warm. "I told her the truth. The day after the wedding. I felt too guilty lying to her. And?" She laughed for about 5 minutes straight. then said it was the most romantic meet-cute she'd ever heard, even if it was fake. Kate hopped up to sit on the counter, feeling more comfortable than she expected. She also said you were clearly into me and I was an idiot if I didn't at least get your number for real. Liam's hand stilled on the wooden spoon. Did she now? Rachel has a very active imagination. Does she? He turned to look at Kate, and there was something in his eyes that made her heart skip. Or maybe she just saw something you didn't. Before Kate could respond, Emma called out, "Daddy, how do you spell divorced?" The moment broke. Liam cleared his throat and went to help Emma with her family tree, carefully spelling out the word. Kate watched as he knelt beside his daughter, patient and gentle, explaining that families came in all different shapes and that was okay. Some families have a mom and a dad, Emma said, pointing to her drawing, and some just have a daddy. Miss Henderson says what matters is love, not how many people are in the picture. Miss Henderson is very smart, Liam agreed. Can I draw Kate in my picture? As your friend? Liam glanced at Kate, who nodded, feeling a strange tightness in her chest. Emma carefully drew another stick figure, giving it long hair and a smile. Over dinner, which was, as promised, delicious, they talked about everything and nothing. Emma told elaborate stories about her classmates, acting out different parts with exaggerated expressions. Liam shared stories about his work as a software engineer, the weird bugs he had to fix, the office politics that somehow followed him even when he worked from home. Kate talked about her job in marketing, the difficult clients, the campaigns she was proud of. She found herself laughing more than she had in months, relaxed in a way she hadn't expected. "You're fun," Emma announced, tomato sauce on her chin. "Most of Daddy's friends are boring. They just talk about computers and sports." "Emma," Liam said warningly, but he was smiling. "It's true. Uncle Mike talked about baseball for 1 whole hour last time." After dinner, while Liam put Emma to bed, Kate did the dishes, insisting on helping. She could hear him reading a bedtime story upstairs, his voice adopting different characters, Emma's giggles floating down. When he came back down, Kate had just finished drying the last plate. "She's asleep," Liam said. Finally, she tried to negotiate for 3 more stories. "She's wonderful," Kate said. "You're doing an amazing job with her." "I'm trying. Some days are harder than others." Liam leaned against the counter next to her. "Can I be honest with you? About something?" "Of course. That night at the wedding, when I offered to pretend to be your boyfriend, I had selfish reasons too." He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous gesture Kate was starting to recognize. "Everyone keeps telling me I need to move on, to date again, to give Emma a complete family. But the truth is, I've been terrified. Terrified of letting someone new into our lives, terrified of Emma getting attached to someone who might leave, terrified of being hurt again." Kate's heart ached for him. "That's not selfish. That's being a good father." "Maybe. But when I saw you in that garden, crying over someone who clearly didn't deserve you, I thought, here's someone who understands. Someone who knows what it's like to have your life not look the way you planned." He turned to face her fully. "And then we had that ridiculous fake dating adventure, and Emma fell asleep in the car, talking about how nice you were, and I realized something." "What?" 5. That maybe I've been so scared of the wrong person coming into our lives that I almost missed recognizing the right one. Kate's breath caught. "Liam, I'm not asking for anything," he said quickly. "I know we barely know each other. I know this is probably moving too fast, or maybe it's not moving at all. Maybe I'm reading this completely wrong." Kate kissed him. It was brief, just a soft press of lips, but it felt like the most natural thing in the world. When she pulled back, Liam was staring at her with wide eyes. "You're not reading it wrong," Kate said softly. "At the wedding, I thought you were just being kind. But tonight, being here with you and Emma, feeling like I fit into your life so easily, I think Rachel might have been right. About both of us." Liam's smile was slow and genuine. "So what do we do now?" "We take it slow. We figure it out as we go. We see where this leads without pretending anymore." Kate reached for his hand. "Is that okay?" "That's more than okay." They stood in his kitchen, hands intertwined, and Kate felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Not the desperate, grasping hope that came from wanting someone to complete you, but the quiet, steady hope that came from knowing you were already whole and someone else was choosing to walk beside you anyway. 3 months passed, and Kate found herself becoming part of Liam and Emma's routine. Sunday morning pancakes, where Emma insisted on adding chocolate chips. Wednesday evening art projects that inevitably ended with glitter everywhere. Friday movie nights where they'd let Emma pick the film, even though it was always a princess movie. Kate still had her own apartment, her own life, her own identity, but now it was intertwined with theirs in small, meaningful ways. One Saturday afternoon, Kate volunteered at a local community center event for single parents. Liam had mentioned how isolating single parenthood could be, how hard it was to find support without judgment. As Kate helped coordinate activities for kids while their parents attended workshops, she realized how much her perspective had shifted. She'd spent so long defining herself by who loved her, measuring her worth by whether someone chose her. But worth wasn't something someone else gave you, it was something you claimed for yourself. "You look happy," a voice said behind her. Kate turned to find a woman about her age, holding a toddler on her hip. "Sorry, I don't mean to be weird. You have this glow about you. Like you figured something out the rest of us are still trying to learn." Kate smiled. "I think I finally learned how to choose myself. Everything else is just a bonus." That evening, Kate sat with Liam on his back porch while Emma played in the yard, chasing fireflies in the dusk. The air was warm, summer just beginning to give way to fall. "I ran into Rachel yesterday," Kate said. "She said I should thank her for the bouquet toss, since clearly it was fate." Liam laughed. "Was it fate, or was it her purposely aiming for you?" "With Rachel, probably both." Kate leaned her head on his shoulder. "Can I tell you something?" "Always. When Jamie left, I thought my life was over. I thought I'd never feel whole again, never trust anyone again, never be happy again." She paused, watching Emma's silhouette against the darkening sky. "But I was wrong. I'm happier now than I ever was with him. Because this," she gestured between them, toward Emma, toward the life they were building. "This isn't about filling a hole. It's about choosing to share something already complete." Liam pressed a kiss to her temple. "I saw you at that wedding, standing at the edge of everything, and I thought you were the most beautiful person I'd ever seen, not because of how you looked, but because I could see you were at a crossroads. You could either let that moment define you, or you could choose something different. And then you offered me the most ridiculous solution possible. Hey, it worked, didn't it?" Kate laughed. "It really did." Emma ran up to them, breathless and excited. "I caught 3 fireflies. Well, I almost caught them. They're too fast. Can Kate stay for bedtime stories?" Kate looked at Liam, who nodded. "If you want to." "I want to," Kate said, taking Emma's outstretched hand. As they walked inside, Emma chattering about the fireflies and the stars and whether unicorns were real, Kate realized something profound. She'd spent so long being left out, feeling invisible, waiting for someone to see her. But the truth was, she'd been visible all along, she just hadn't been looking in the right direction. Sometimes the best love stories don't start with love at all. They start with someone being kind when you're falling apart. They start with a ridiculous proposal at a wedding garden. They start with choosing to show up, even when you're scared, even when it's messy, even when you don't know how the story ends. Kate didn't know where this would lead with Liam, with Emma, with the future stretching out before them. But for the first time in her life, she was okay with not knowing. She was okay with taking it one day at a time, one moment at a time, one choice at a time, because she'd learned the most important lesson of all. You don't need someone to complete you. You just need someone who sees you're already complete and chooses to celebrate that with you. And as Emma pulled her upstairs for bedtime stories, Liam's hand warm in hers, Kate knew she'd finally found something real. Not because someone stepped in to save her, but because she'd saved herself, and in doing so, she'd made room for something beautiful. If you loved this story of choosing yourself and finding unexpected love, don't forget to subscribe to Soul Story for more heartwarming tales that'll remind you of your worth. Hit that like button if Kate's journey resonated with you, and drop a comment below telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your perspective. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to hear today.